Oh, shit. Well, hi everyone. Hi Tara. Yeah, sorry for being late about 30 minutes.
I had to update stuff.
Oh,
I didn't know.
Someone had to get his makeup done for him.
hello.
We have Scraps.
DJ Scraps is here. Hopefully you guys can hear him in the chat. Hi, Mr. Bishop.
Give me 1 second. I got trying to get my headset to sync up with my phone so I can talk to y'all more clearly.
Seriously, the Gremlins are just out to get everybody today.
They are.
We're 30 minutes late. You all didn't see it because we weren't even able to get the dang, anything to work for 30 minutes. But he was late.
When am I ever on time?
You're usually here 1 minute before
Yeah.
we start.
You were late for you, which is bad. I mean, by all accounts, we almost had to consider you missing.
Nah.
Testing 1 2.
Yep.
The mic is
Can
picking
still
up.
hear me?
Speak.
Speaking.
See, it looks like it's picking you up.
Make
Hello.
some noise.
Yeah, we can hear you.
We gotta do a 1 hour recap. The last. Oh god.
My
There you go. No. Pretend for all the people who are unhappy that we are 30 minutes late. Just pretend that I was ranting again how horrible I find 5e to be, and there you go. You're up to date.
I like 5e though.
You're wearing Crocs.
Yeah. A lot easier to hit you with them.
They're saying they can hear you fine. Plankton? No. We don't blame things on Plankton here, Donson. We blame them on the Mexican.
No, it's plankton.
I thought we blamed everything on Rosewater.
That's my personal life. But anyway, hello everyone. Welcome to From One Side to the Other. I am your host, Kristoff N. Chester. We have Jesus here, the bishop over in the corner, recovering from a blood hemorrhage, I guess.
Hi.
And we have DJ Scraps from Kobold's Corner on the microphone here tonight.
Hello.
Hi, Mom. Oh, there. Hopefully that makes you feel better, Bishop. Mom loves you too.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, that was annoying. And I want to say I think that happened one other time. But, it doesn't matter. So, last week, those of you who actually sat through my... Was it really 40 minutes? Did I really go off?
Were you griping about Wizards of the Coast, right?
No,
I'm pretty sure it was the whole freaking episode.
It was 48, 45 minutes, somewhere in there.
Except for the last 5 minutes of the show. Sure
it wasn't...
The rest of it was him just complaining.
Okay,
whining.
First and foremost, you are mistaken. You can't even speak to what the first quarter of the show was because you weren't effing here.
Yeah, I was eating my shit ready to go fishing.
Second of all, no, what I did was I gave a brief history of Dungeons and Dragons, and then I spilled off into an angry rant about how 5e is probably something made by either Kathleen Kennedy or Satan. I'm not sure which. But in any case, yes, I know.
It was actually made by Rosewater specifically for you.
There's a part of me that wonders sometimes. By the way, if you did not know, Mark Rosewater works at Wizards of the Coast and personally spies on me so he can do things that piss me off. Don't
Like the entirety of the Amacat block?
Oh my god, that was such a wasted opportunity. But anyway, no, this is a happy place. This is a happy...
Is it though?
Sorry, I'm bringing up magic.
Yeah, I know.
My roommate recently got bullied into playing it with one of his friends. So I'm laughing pretty hard about that right now, actually.
Anyway, yeah, no. So Sean brings a good point. Last time we ended on discussing the famous bar incident with Mognir and Tyrios. Now, like I said, my plan was for tonight We're not going to go over exposition. We're not going to explain the history of Dungeons and Dragons again. Although, by the way, I believe it was Monday was actually Gary Gygax's day. It was his birthday.
Oh, really?
Yes.
I didn't know that. Man, I'm missing everybody's birthday. Jeez.
Do you want to tell him, or should we just let him be ignorant?
About what?
Anyway, well, that answers that question. Anyhow, but no, we're going to be getting just into more stories. And I'm glad that you actually are here at the start of the show.
Yeah, I almost wasn't.
Well, I'm glad you're here too, buddy. But no. So last week we hinted at it, and I have to be honest. The character I want to kick this off with is somehow simultaneously one of the most fun characters I've had in a game, and also the most blood-boilingly upsetting and annoying and frustrating. And I think mostly it has to do with this.
Are we talking about Itka?
Itka Babymaker.
Mm.
Which is funny because Itka was never supposed to be a thing to begin with.
Actually, I was right.
No.
What happened was, I forgot why I came over. But these guys were playing D&D. And
Now, real quick, this was relatively after me and you actually met.
No, this is way after.
This was like 2017.
Yeah, like we had already known for each other. I like all
Because we worked together at Walmart.
I worked with all three of you at Walmart.
I know, but I'm saying, like, me and you never really talked all that much. Like,
we had talked a bit, but not like deep, like
yeah, it was
long
more
conversation. I had more conversations with the bishop and Scraps.
We went to like Magic pre-releases together for.
Yeah, that was really, because it was more they brought you.
Yeah.
But anyway,
but
proceed.
I had to come over, and your character at the time had knife hands.
Niran.
And you guys were going through. There was a rope. You were hanging on it, trying to make your way over.
You guys were in the mountain.
Yeah, the ice themed mountain place.
And
now, but the thing I want to get to before we get into shenanigans, should we call them your shenanigans with this character?
no.
Well, no, hold on.
This is before that.
Well, see, okay, I'll tell the story as I understand it, and you can correct me. You were never supposed to be a regular person in the party. Itka was a boss fight.
Yeah, I was supposed to infiltrate, get you guys to be my friends, and then horribly betray you towards the end.
Yeah, but it was like supposed to be 1 or 2 games because you thought you wouldn't have the availability to be there.
Because at the time my schedule was way worse than it is now.
Yeah. Oh God. People talk about total party kills and ancient dragons and elder brains. What ruins, what destroys a campaign? Timing.
Mm-hmm.
Timing is what kills campaigns. But anyway. But no, please.
The level 25 aberrant beast. Bad schedules.
Yeah.
But no, please inform our wonderful viewing audience, the dozens of people in attendance here.
What
please.
was my first shenanigan with you guys in that campaign, and I wasn't even playing with you guys yet?
I remember, because my character left because he was wrong for the campaign.
Yeah, so the rope that you were climbing on.
He didn't leave. He died.
I'm pretty sure there's a whole campaign that happened after that kind of proves you wrong on that one.
So yeah, he was
good. Your other characters can attest to that.
The only way you can get into the Shadow Realm. Shadow Realm?
No, he went to Carcosa.
Yeah, but the only way you can do that is by dying.
No, he physically teleported there. That's why there was no body.
Alright, well,
I ain't got nobody.
Well, he fell from a very great distance. He didn't tie that noose properly.
See, hold on real quick. I'm just going to powerbomb everyone. Because this guy loves to bring that up, and so does he. They forget I literally intentionally did everything that led up to him falling off that cliff.
Yes, you did.
I know. Right. Dude, we had talked about it like a while because you didn't like Nier.
Oh, I loved Nier. He just was wrong in the campaign.
You didn't like him for that campaign. So his death was orchestrated, 100%.
Death. Anyway, though.
So I came to sit in.
I was God in that campaign.
Yeah, I came to sit in, and when I sat down, that's when he had taken the plunge. Well, he starts giving a speech, and then I go lean over to Scraps. I'm like, play the Titanic music now, and he does, and it just brought everything. It brought everything together, and we all started dying.
Yeah.
Laughter.
Real quick, I want to point out something again. Jesus, I mean this in the nicest way I can say. That's a complete fucking lie. I'm going to be completely honest with you. You are simultaneously the best and worst D&D player I have ever met. And I pray to the God I don't even believe in that nobody takes that title from you, because I don't want to imagine how someone can be a more infuriating, derailing, and destructive force of nature that is you.
Oh, you have no idea. I've been nice with you guys.
Oh, no. There is one story that we cannot tell here on this show on YouTube, so I know how bad you can be.
Oh, yeah. Technically, my first character was a necromancer.
Necromancer, yeah. That's
He was into the other necro stuff.
Yeah.
Heavily. If you don't know what I mean, then you're too young and
you shouldn't be watching this channel, to be fair. But no, let's not get into that. Let's get into how you made everybody simultaneously hate you and love you with equal.
So one of the
because that we can talk about here on YouTube.
So his new character and mine were stuck together because we follow the same god. So we had to travel together.
Well, it's also because we kind of sort of accidentally desecrated and destroyed a gnomish temple.
Accidentally, my ass. I did that shit on purpose.
That was a fantastic introduction.
We'll get to that in a minute, though.
Oh, I'm sure we will. Yeah.
So we then bump into the rest of the party. I don't remember how, though.
We were literally just there when they came down from the mountain temple.
Yeah.
I introduced Hydrus and Itka after the Mount Zion dungeon.
Yeah, which was based off SCP, if I'm not mistaken.
No. Mount Zion was the gigantic ice-themed mountain that I actually built literal vertical
Lego blocks
play areas for.
Yeah, real quick. So, I don't think I have the pictures from that. But this raving lunatic kobold did not just put a board on a table and say, this is your dungeon. This son of a bitch starts getting Legos out and literally builds a vertical dungeon that we had to move our characters through.
Yes, indeed. And you know what? It was absolutely fantastic.
Oh, it was, but it was also bonkers insane.
So
that was my favorite dungeon in the entire game. Especially because, yes, I do remember I actually did model the boss off of an SCP. I don't remember which one, what the number was, but it was the frozen jar that, if left open, started creating wraiths that can freeze you solid if they touch you.
Yeah, you liked using the SCPs for your stuff.
Dude, they make good D&D monsters.
Yeah, they do. But anyway, so yeah, he actually ended up becoming a permanent party member.
Yep.
When he was not supposed to be. And unfortunately, that led him to, I can only assume, improving pretty much every other action.
Oh, dude, everything about that character was nothing but improv. Backstory, origin, everything he did.
You adopted a kobold.
Improv. Yes, I did. It was my baby boy.
He adopted several kobolds. What are you talking about?
Yep. So we then make our way to a town. I think it was the first town or the second town with you guys. And I decide to go into a bar. Someone goes to a bathhouse. And the other people... That would have
been Nanako, I do believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, the one who kept
the kitsune
harassing poor Ion. Or
the
Iorn, excuse me.
Anymore. that I have 100% deleted from my world's lore.
Yeah. Oh, real quick, by the way, Donson is calling you out.
On what?
On Itka being a coward. You got your butt kicked by a Sphinx in our Dragon Strike game, and you never came back.
I was busy with other things.
Anyway, though, but yeah, no, Sean remembers. Sean's not letting you drop that.
I had other
but,
other appointments at a certain bathhouse to attend to.
But anyway,
so I start making fun of somebody. I don't remember who. And it starts a fight. He's just trying to enjoy his bath. Because we're hungover at that point. Like, I think we were still pretty drunk too.
Where was Iron?
I don't remember, but at some point you all ended up in the bar.
Wasn't Iron also in the bathhouse?
Yeah.
No, he avoided the bathhouse because Nanako was going there.
Yep.
And bad things happened when clothing was optional, and Nanako was near basically anything. So he was avoiding it, and he was, if I recall correctly, you were already at the bar with us.
So, real quick, you guys haven't even described what your characters are at all.
Oh, I was a freaking honey badger dwarf.
Yeah.
And
I didn't even give a fuck. That was my catchphrase.
Hydrus was a black dragonborn. Iorn was a half-elf deer person.
Yeah.
Druid. Yeah, druid. Yeah.
Yeah, I was a druid.
Who?
And Nako was a white fox
Kitsune.
thing.
Yeah.
And
monk.
Etchi was a rabbit.
Yeah.
Like a
No,
walking
Etchi
rabbit.
was was that weird.
That's
bird
right, he was
dog
that bird thing.
in my campaign.
Yeah, he was a weird original species that no one can remember.
Yeah.
Etchi was the rabbit in your campaign.
Yeah.
Um.
Lorik, who we'll get to. But real quick, just put a pin in that and remember Etchi.
So there were...
Because I bet your ass you do!
Fucking hate that fucking twat.
And in this game, there were 5 players when Scraps was the dungeon master.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So in that bar, I started a whole fucking brawl and moves over to the bar. Really proud of that. And then, like, the brawl is just going, but no one's jumping into the brawl when we get to the bar. Like, the whole bathhouse is being destroyed. Our god showed up in the bar, and me and him start talking. And I try to start a fight.
That's right. You wanted to have a bar fight with Cord, the god of strength.
And Cord was like, you know what the hell, I'm down. And he backhanded me towards the wall and just started throwing shit, and a whole fight broke out. It was fantastic. I think I got thrown out of the window at one point. And then we had to leave town.
It's a legal obligation that in D&D, if there's a bar fight, somebody's going out a window.
Specifically the shortest person in the party, which would have been you at the time.
Yeah, and we had to dip town right after that because it was going to be jail and a bunch of fines, and we were broke at the time. And we're wanted as well.
Yep.
So we dipped.
Putting that nicely.
Yeah. After Ita did some baby things.
Yep.
With some people. My dude liked to do the dance with no pants. He liked to make the beast with 2 backs. A lot.
I'll
I don't remember some of this.
I had a bunch of kids.
I don't remember.
So real quick, before we get to my personal favorite story of Etchi, of Itka and Etchi, I want to explain real quick. So the campaign I did was set in the same world that this game took place, and I probably shouldn't have done this because I should not feed the troll, but I did. I basically had Itka become kind of like this world's Genghis Khan, where like 25% of everyone on the planet pretty much was descended from him.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, like, then what does that make me, though? Because if you'll remember correctly, I managed to make him basically the origin of his species.
That's right. There was time shenanigans.
Yep.
There was 100% time shenanigans.
Yeah, there was. It was great.
But no, my personal favorite, I don't remember how it happened, but Itka accidentally invented the elevator.
Oh yeah,
the box.
We
yeah,
called it the Itka box.
We broke into a facility because we were looking for something. It was
the root of that area.
Yeah.
we were trying to find something or get some research or destroy something.
And there were different rooms.
Yeah, and I found a key and went up to a box and just succeeded on my roll and turned on the box and just like went in and started hitting buttons and stuff started happening. Well, at first these guys didn't notice that I disappeared for a little bit.
Actually, we were enjoying the quiet.
No, you missed me. You know you did. And then I come back and they're all there. We get into the elevator and we start going through different realms and different periods of time.
Mm-hmm.
And then in one of those, I think I fucked something up and started the whole origin of my species.
So correct me if I'm wrong.
If I remember correctly, because it's been a while since we played this,
This was years ago.
Y'all refused to get off the elevator until y'all saw a mind flayer.
Yeah, that's right.
So y'all got out of the elevator to confront the mind flayer, and it turns out that it was like prehistoric times. The mind flayer was going around collecting DNA samples.
Oh, it was an elder thing.
We were on the beach, and the elder things were there, and you, puked.
Yep.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, it puked because of the time travel.
Into like the primordial soup, and he became the origin
Progenited,
of your species.
Yeah, the origin of life.
So it was just
the origin
one big
of
time
dwarves.
loop.
Yep. And
then you just gave a sample to them too.
Yep. And then we left. And then we found that one spot where we were supposed to be at, and then that's when I got infected.
And then what happened?
Then we ended up at we ended up at that temple that we desecrated somehow.
No, you are the only temple desecrator that I remember.
No, Hydrus was there. Hydrus helped him.
He was there.
That's how we actually got stuck together. Hydrus had to stick with him as repentance because we did destroy a temple. Though we gained valuable information from that. We learned that in this world, gnomes are made of rubber and can be bounced really freaking high.
Yeah, like fucking footballs. So we get there and then bunch of just little footballs show up.
Gnomes.
And they're mad at us and they start a fight. Well, I kicked one, threw one, we beat them, killed them. And then on the wall there was a imprint of the first one we threw.
Are you there, buddy?
Yeah, my headset reset. Sorry about that.
Okay.
And then on the wall there was an imprint from the first time we were there, like just on the wall. We ended up destroying that temple again. After we left, just to get out of there. It was great.
So real quick, I'm not sure where this came from or why, and maybe somebody else here can help refresh my memory. It became a running joke that we just abused the ever-loving hell out of gnomes.
Gnomes are annoying as fucking creatures.
That was from Kale's campaign.
See,
when we stole the airship, that started the whole thing.
Gnomes are annoying as shit. I hate them.
Well, now, hold on. Just a quick... And actually, you know what? I'll put this question to the chat, too. Gnomes or hobbits / halflings? Which one is worse? And which one would you rather be just erased from fantasy?
Probably halflings. I never really liked halflings.
Yeah, halflings. Because there's one gnome I actually do like, and it's from Critical Role, Campaign 1, Stanley, played by Sam. That dude's funny as shit. That dude does improv like a motherfucker.
Anyway.
Hey there, Nomi. Don't you know me?
Oh, we did. That's why we attacked them all on sight.
Yup. Afterwards one of us got a hellhound as a freaking.
No, that was my campaign. That was Lorik, which was Etchy's character in my campaign. He got the dog.
No.
Yes.
Because.
Woodrow, yeah. No.
No.
Yeah, no, that.
No. There
What?
was,
The big flaming dog.
there was one in the.
Are you talking about Moon?
Yes,
Twin
Moon Moon.
Moons.
Did we talk about Moon last
did.
week?
No.
Oh my god, Moon. You weren't there for the
Hey.
glory that is Moon.
Because I know in our campaign.
A reoccurring character in every single campaign that was played in this world.
Mm-hmm. He was a reoccurring joke / thing. So real quick, I'll explain the origins of Moon. So on social media, there was, you know, those stupid things where it's like there's a list of first names and a list of second names, and it's like you use your birth month and your birth year to find out what would your dragon name be, what would your elf name be.
It's an online name generator.
Yeah. Well, I saw one that was, what would your wolf name be? And the person who made this apparently wasn't careful, because it became entirely possible to have your wolf name be Moon. And everyone made fun of that. That became a bit of a meme joke thing. And I don't know if you were there for it yet. This might have been before
one of the old memes.
Yeah, this might have been before Terios joined the party.
I think it was.
But we got jumped by a pack of wolves, and there was this one wolf in particular that just literally every dice roll it was getting was a net 1. And we felt bad for the stupid thing. To the point...
I remember this one.
Oh, yeah.
Scraps made friends with the wolf. We did not want to kill the wolf because it was literally the worst wolf we have ever seen in our entire lives. And so it became known as Moon the Wolf. Became part of our party.
Now,
and he's... Go ahead.
Now remember,
Sorry.
we all tried to do a animal handling roll, and we ended up actually having to have the giant monitor lizard Gucci that pulled our wagon take a swing at it. And was it you or me that screamed, "Gucci! Woo him!"
Oh, that's right.
And it
I
actually...
think that was me, actually.
I think it
Yeah,
was
I think
you.
that was me, and that damn lizard rolled a nat 20 for seduction. For animal, seduction, quote unquote.
Yeah.
For animal handling on the freaking wolf.
And so Moon joined the party and became Gucci, the giant monitor lizard's boyfriend.
Yeah.
Do you now understand why our old DM hated my guts?
I came in after that because they helped pull our wagon.
Yeah.
We had like a covered wagon, and big monitor lizard and a big wolf pulled it like horses.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then I don't remember what we were going through a desert at one point, and your character ended up getting was on the verge of dying, I believe.
Iorn.
Yeah, you were getting heat struck.
Yeah. So we digged a hole and threw him in there.
Oh my god. Yeah.
And Bill Cosby decided to do what Bill Cosby does.
Yeah, Nanako decided to get in the hole with him.
And I encouraged it.
Yes, you did.
I encouraged all the bad things.
And my character's passed out.
Yeah.
Defenseless, once again. Is it any wonder that he kind of became evil in my campaign?
I wanted him to be
Didn't
evil.
Nanako have one of her episodes?
Yeah.
And that's why that happened?
She tried to cast a spell, but she rolled a nat 1 or something.
Yeah.
She hit herself basically with some sort of hallucinogenic or something.
Yep.
Yep. She had her.
No.
Okay, so
No. We
little
had
backstory. So Nanako was a character of a player that we don't speak of anymore. She was not a good person. She never was a good person, and she never will be a good person. I hope that she gets cancer in her tiny pinky toe, and it has to be chopped off.
Let's be honest.
But
the whole foot.
in game, Nanako, the characters had to go through a dungeon to find a stone, a keystone, to unlock the gates to get to basically the spiritual roots of the world. Basically, to rechain a dead god that was unchaining itself. But that's like the overarching story. So they got through this dungeon, they found the stone, and that's when they met the big bad evil guy of the campaign. The very first meeting of Kava, the Kitsune. Nanako, at the time, Kava was level 15. Nanako was level 3. And in their infinite wisdom, they decided, hey, that's the big bad evil guy. Let's take a flying leap kick at him and, try to end the campaign early. She got pimp slapped and ended up being in a coma for, the next game, I believe?
Yeah, I remember that. We had to revive her somehow.
Yeah.
Yeah, so our party, with the help of the lovable Cobalt Tack.
That was Itka's adopted son.
We will talk about that in a minute.
Brought her back to the forest where basically the Feywild touched the real world.
Oh, yeah, that's where we got the Feywild acid.
Yep. They brought her into a temple to basically revive her and was going to give her a single drop of this really, really powerful Feywild medicine that was supposed to fully revive her. Well, she woke up and decided, hey, I'm still slightly injured. This will heal me the rest of the way. And she drank the entire vial of this medicine. This is a homebrew medicine that was only supposed to be used for a plot device to wake her back up.
Yep. And then she had side effects.
Permanent.
So to punish her, basically she had the best/worst acid trips that you could ever imagine throughout the entire campaign, and they were completely random. Every so often, when the player did something stupid, I would roll a dice, and if it came up a specific number, bam, acid trip. And despite the weirdness, it did make for some pretty comedic bits. Remember when she like stripped down naked and tried to run into the fire?
Oh yeah.
Yup.
So she wouldn't burn her clothes off?
Yes, I remember that. She found any excuse to take her clothes off.
Yeah.
And yet...
I did not touch that at all.
Yeah, this guy, the prodigious baby impregnator, never touched her.
Yeah, my character knew crazy, and he was not that type of... He liked crazy, but not that type of crazy.
Donzin can already feel that part 3 coming on, by the way.
Yep. So then I dug a hole and crawled in there and passed out.
I remember that. You gained this weird fixation with digging holes.
Honey badgers sleep underground. And I'm also a dwarf. Dwarf likes being underground.
I know, but it's still funny. Just out of nowhere, suddenly your character didn't like bedrolls or stuff like that.
Yeah, you just dug a hole. Well, that was after. So we had a kobold in the group.
Brace yourselves for this one.
And I took a liking to said young kobold and adopted him as my child and taught him all the wrong things. How to cuss, where to punch, how to drink, what to do when he finds himself with a beautiful woman.
This is a 2-foot-tall lizard, by the way, a kobold.
Yep. Attack the kobold, a kobold shaman that was only supposed to be there as a cart driver. So the player characters he get from place to place.
Yeah.
That did not happen. He made that motherfucker into a whole motherfucking character.
You made it into a tactical nuke. Get it? Get it? Oh, calm down, you.
So then we were in a dungeon, I believe, and we had just gotten done getting rid of a bunch of freaking gnomes again. And that's when we noticed that Tacky's gone.
Yep.
I
remember this.
I don't know where this is going.
So we...
Y'all had y'all had to backtrack your way back to Nanako's temple.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
But
so we then start searching, and my character is like, "Where's my baby boy?"
that became like your catchphrase, "My baby boy."
Well, at the time, you guys had shown me Dragon Ball Z Abridged, so I was working my way through that.
My baby boy.
And then we find our adopted child. Well, I found my adopted child with the big bad.
Yep. You found him with the. You found him with the Dragonborn that I had infected with the
one
big bad evil guy's spell.
Yeah, one of Kava's elite dudes.
Yeah, and then he said some things, I said some things, and persuasion did not go well, and my baby boy got his throat slit, and I yelled, "My baby boy," and I charged.
And Tack passed away, sadly.
And
The only character in this entire consorted, twisted, bizarre thing that was actually mourned.
I can remember how the fight ended.
I remember it.
Did we kill him?
Yeah, like it was really. I was simultaneously horrified and proud because I dealt literal, physical, emotional damage to.
Yes, I remember this. That was the fight where you, I want to say, didn't you actually knock his head off with the side of your axe? You didn't even chop it. You actually bludgeoned him.
I know he went all out. I was just eating the hits. I wasn't even dodging. I was just freaking hitting. Because it made sense for the character to not dodge, swing, and swing. Until there was either nothing was moving or there was a pile of
dead dwarf alongside the dead kobold.
Yep.
Real quick, by the way, I wanted that story told because in my campaign, I introduced a kobold named Rude. Rude owned a store because he was a little tinker toy dude. He was an engineer guy, and it was called Tick for Tack. I said the name of this building. And yes, it was meant to be an Easter egg reference to Tack. This dude, top of his lungs.
My baby boy!
I was not expecting that. That was a jump scare for me. I was like, what the?
I think I also said in campaign as well.
Yeah, no, you just randomly scream, "My baby boy!" at the top of your lungs.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure
proudest moment as a DM is when I made Jesus cry.
Yep, I remember that. I saw you. Yeah. I saw you. You were about to cry for that little lizard, and then you.
Right. I like that little lizard.
And then you got mad.
Yeah.
Because didn't I make a whole scene of describing exactly how he died?
Yeah.
Yes, you did, and that shit worked me up, and I just saw murder.
You worked up that dragonborn.
And then afterwards, that wasn't the same. He got big into alcohol, and that's when he started digging the holes, and he would just sleep in there.
Yeah.
Yep, that was the start of the downfall of Itka.
Speaking of, are you ready for the emotional damage of explaining the fall, the actual fall of Itka?
We had finally gotten to the point where we could make our way to.
We were in the final dungeon, I want to say.
Yeah, we were. And
you were on your way to the final dungeon.
Yep.
I remember this, and let me preface this and let Jesus tell the rest of the story. So, more or less, it was after the volcano. The party got knocked out and woke up 6 months later after having lost time, basically. The world was in shambles, and they had to start looking, because the volcano was the last keystone, right? If I remember correctly?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. The volcano was the last keystone, because I made y'all fight that red dragon made out of rubies.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
I remember that guy.
Yeah, it was a fun fight. But they woke up 6 months later. They had to find the gates to the roots that the keystones unlocked. This was towards the end of the campaign. They were going after the last route after the three others. And they met a troop of kobolds that had survived basically the mini apocalypse that was going on. And now remember, this wasn't going towards the last dungeon. This was going towards the desert, where the last route was.
Some shit happened. Remember when I said my character was infected?
Yeah. This is when that actually happened.
Yeah, this is when because it started spreading after he started drinking heavily, got really depressed. I then turned into a frost giant.
Well, now hold on. You're skipping a part here. You're skipping a part.
All right. So, what had happened was the party had met Tyrios, who had taken command of the airship that the last party had in the last campaign, because Tyrios is a good pirate.
Tyrios wasn't a pirate. He was not a pirate.
So they managed to find a town. They managed to find a town where they could set up shop and start moving towards the last route of the world. And as they were doing so, they met the troop of kobolds that they adopted into the town. This is also the time where Hydrus got his wings.
That's right. You didn't want me to have my wings, but I chose
I did
that.
Too. I was trying to find a way to work up to it.
Yeah.
Because that was a pretty dang significant thing that happened to you.
Yeah.
So they had moved on from the town after their base of operations had gotten set up. They moved on from the town. They went across the ocean and found another town being ransacked by more of Kava's underlings. Well, his troop of kobolds basically ran off of the ship and started going through the town trying to help people. And every single one of them got slaughtered.
Oh, yeah.
I remember the Kobold Massacre.
That's when he lost his shit.
Including his buddy, the Swobold, who was a kobold that was as tall as Itka, and who constantly had flexing contests with him.
Yeah, the homies.
The super muscular kobold, the Swobold, as we called him. That's what we called him, Swobold.
Yeah.
So Itka ran away. He disappeared towards the desert. And as he disappeared towards the desert, the entire party saw something fly through the air into the desert. It basically, to not mince words, it was a nuke. The big bad evil guy got a hold of some otherworld technology and basically nuked the last route that unchained the gods and allowed him to basically rise, and that's how the last fight happened. But they went towards that to try to figure out what had happened, and Itka was there, and he basically sunk into the sand after I think he gave a little bit of a speech.
No, I remember how this happened, because we realized you had become infected and you were corrupted, and Etchi doesn't blink, doesn't bat an eye. He just fits an arrow into the bow, into the bow, one shot right into his forehead.
No, after I transformed.
No, it was before, because you got shot. We all thought you were dead, and you bursted out of the ground as a giant.
Yep, and then...
it was a...
he said one word after he shot you. I remember this. He said, shame.
Shame.
See, Etchi's characters were always mutes. He barely ever talked.
No.
Well, he barely ever talked anyway.
Yeah. Think of it as Bob and Silent J.
Basically, yeah. Silent J.
Yeah, Silent... J and Silent Bob.
Silent Bob, excuse
Sorry.
me. He barely ever talked.
Um,
But no, I remember that. He shot you dead, and literally his response was, that's a shame.
Yeah, and then that fight was supposed to take longer than it was supposed to. I then come up as a frost giant, and we start fighting.
Yep.
I do damage to these two. Little bit to freaking Etchi, and then Etchi's like, no, I'm done.
It was the only fight in the entire game that me as a DM got to sit out of, because I gave Jesus the Frost Giant's character sheet, because I made It was 3 separate times in the campaign. Instead of just pulling stuff from the monster manual, I actually made characters with full character sheets to fight against the party.
Complete homebrew from the ground.
Those 3 times, if I remember correctly, those 3 times were the hardest fights y'all had in the game.
Until the Itka incident.
Yeah,
Yep.
and then Edgy's like, I'm done. I'm over this. Because when all 3 of them are together, they do pretty well. So I tried separating them and then tried going after one at a time. And then when I was about to end one of them, Edgy's like, nah, and does a horrific amount of fucking damage, and I'm fucking dead again.
Mm-hmm. It was only a couple rounds, I want to say, actually.
Yeah, that fight was supposed to take a whole freaking minute, but it took like maybe.
That was
30.
supposed to be an entire session by itself.
Yep, and it was not. It was maybe.
You would go on to bear a grudge against that player.
Yeah, I would.
I remember any opportunity you had to accidentally miss and accidentally hit Etchy's other characters. You did. You.
Motherfucker always picked a goddamn long range fucker.
Mm-hmm. I think that was why he was staying away from you.
Yeah, and I would always do melee. So then.
See, I'm surprised you didn't try a range class so you could just say you missed.
We both know I wouldn't. Not want to fucking deny it. So then when we get to the boss fight, we made a one-shot character just for the fight.
Lamperouge.
Lamperouge.
Yeah, Lamperouge.
Ikta's son, one of his kids.
One of his many sons. By the way, Donson is again calling you out. How many kids did you have abandoned? How many children did you not pay support for? But you care about this one little lizard?
Don't worry about it.
To be fair, I made Tack pretty awesome.
Tack was awesome. I liked Tack.
I like the way I made Tack.
My kids were grown enough to where they after they were grown, I would go on my way, and sometimes I would sleep with a woman, and when I realized that she may or may not have been. A lot of these were one night stands, okay?
Origin of the dwarven race in this world, by the way, folks.
Yeah.
Just remember that. Anyway, though, but yeah, no. So you had Lamperouge.
Yeah, and Lamperouge was a tiefling fighter or
fighter.
Yeah, a tiefling fighter.
And you had a smoking problem, if I recall.
He was your throwaway, so you could keep playing after Itka died.
Yeah. He had a black leather suit, 2 blades, and a big smoking problem. And he came looking for his old man, and I forgot why. But it had to do something with some of the other kids.
Yeah. To be fair, he really was kind of just thrown in so that you could, because again, because it might be confusing. Itka was never supposed to be a thing because he wasn't supposed to be available, as we all understood it. He wouldn't be playing with us.
Because at the time we started around like November. Like when I joined, it was like around November, December, or somewhere around October, somewhere around that time period.
Mm-hmm.
And working retail and then doing acid protection, my schedule would change a lot, and the hours I would work would change a lot. So I wasn't too sure if I would be around, could play, or if I had to be at work or and whatnot. But it worked out to where I could be here for the games and play along and whatnot, and that's how that happened.
So that campaign lasted for 2 years. It was a 2-year-long campaign.
I remember. Yeah. Where does the time go?
Yeah.
But
this is a lot longer than the first campaign I freaking played.
I remember.
It's also the only D&D campaign I think any of us have ever successfully finished.
Yeah, basically.
And that was playing every other week.
Yeah.
Almost every other week.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because the first campaign I was in wasn't with these guys. It was with a different group. It was the Necromancer, and I called him after myself. It was Jeeves. It was supposed to be an evil campaign. But one of the guys decided to play a good character, and someone was a stand-in for that character. And when the party was camping, and I wasn't even there for that, I was like on my way to where we were gonna be playing at, and the dude had freaking slaughtered everyone in their sleep, including my character. So when I got there, I'm like, "Yo, let's play it," and he's like, "Well, hold on, they're in a fight, and you're dead, by the way." I'm like, "I'm what now?" He killed you, and he just waved. I'm like, "Fuck you, the fuck, bro." And he's like, "Well, hold on, no, hold on, the fuck." Like, I wasn't even here, and you just kill someone off.
Hey, language.
So little argument broke out, and then I'm like, yeah, I'm not waiting for this, and looked at my other buddy who I rode there with, and his character was killed off too. And he's like, "You want to stay?" I'm like, "No." So we just dipped.
Yeah.
I don't blame you.
The only real memorable thing from Lamperouge, if I can get this back on track, I remember we were in a sewer or something, and you decided at that exact moment you needed a smoke.
Yep.
And it was filled with methane gas, and you struck a match.
I was perfect.
And you almost killed everyone else in the party because everybody else wasn't a half demon with resistance to fire.
Yep. It was great times.
The funny thing is I don't think you were even trying to kill everybody.
No, I just wanted a smoke and just...
Yeah, Lamperouge, if I remember correctly, Lamperouge really never had any like actual ulterior motives.
No, Lamperouge was just a fucking idiot.
Now, in my campaign, Lamperouge did become very evil, and he was very important, actually.
Yeah, he actually he was important in my my board game that I based off of my campaign.
Yeah, he casted a spell called the Era Ender that killed like 7% of all life on the planet.
Yep, shattered the world too.
Yep, made everything have to be put back together differently.
Yep.
So when my campaign rolled around, everything was in different places and things like that. Which is what brings us to Ryuk.
Mind you, most of the character names I did were freaking...
ripped off from anime, let's be honest.
Yep.
Ryuk is the first character who I had to put down, and the only character that I didn't want to put down. But I want to explain something real quick, because every time this comes up, every time he comes up with D&D, to anyone else, I have to defend myself. "Oh, Kristoff, you were such a mean DM to Jesus." No. You don't understand.
A great DM.
This dude is a prick.
Here's my thing. If it's going to happen, fucking do it. And I would always play into the fucking characters.
Hold on, no. You do not get to turn yourself into Superman for this. Let me tell you a story, okay? So they basically had set up shop in this one city. The whole campaign centered around this city. There were tons of things going on in it. There were multiple plot threads. There were factions. There was all kinds of stuff. This guy, he was playing a paladin of Anubis, if I recall correctly.
Yes.
He encountered, hold on to your pants because this is going to get weird. Donson, take notes. He encountered an alien. A literal came down from the stars creature from another world. It literally bit his head off. The only reason his character didn't need to be replaced is because he was a paladin of a god of the underworld, so he basically got to call in a favor, and his death was prevented at the last second.
You're missing.
He knows, beyond a shadow of doubt, there are hostile, flesh-eating extraterrestrials in this world. What do you think he decided to do the next day? Did he go on an adventure and explore the city to try and find these aliens or anyone that may have been supporting them? Hell no! He went to a frickin' diner and decided to see if he could literally constitution roll his way through eating pancakes for 12 hours straight.
Yo.
Fuck you and the horse you rode in on, you bastard game-ruining son of a border-jumping prick!
Oh man, and that's not even
the worst shit I did.
That is not the worst shit you did, mister. I decide I'm going to attack city guards.
Hold on.
Mister,
What?
I'm going to walk into this building owned by a clearly evil, super powerful magic user, and I'm going to break all his
That
stuff.
was accidental.
I will say one thing real quick.
Okay.
Jesus has not made you walk away from the table.
Oh, you...
There is only one person that has ever made you walk away from the table, and I remember this very clearly because we were laughing our asses off at it, and that was Etchy's character. Because your current bad evil guy at the time was trying to cast Fireball to kill all of us, and he shot him with an arrow.
Yep.
And made the Fireball explode on him.
Yep.
Here's the thing about Fireball. Fireball is big. There's a reason why Fireball jokes are prevalent in D&D, because Fireball is a ungodly damaging spell.
And then I'm like, how does that feel?
And
Azon.
Azon.
It backfiring on you? Whew, man.
So, this wasn't supposed to be a horror campaign.
It was supposed to be a horror campaign. The only thing
derailed
horror-like
the
was...
shit out of that campaign.
You did. Horribly so.
So our characters are supposed to meet in an abandoned house, mansion.
Oh,
This is the very first game.
Very first game. It was supposed to be... The plan was originally going to be... it was kind of meant to be a nod to not Silent Hill, Resident Evil. They were supposed to work their way through the building and, like, solve puzzles and find information. And then this son of a bitch just shows up an hour late, by the way.
How does that work? So, I get stuck in a closet somehow. I did not realize that it was a pull, not push door. These guys get me out. And then some shenanigans and tomfooleries happen.
So, no. You're not glancing over this. I know what you're doing. You're trying to make me look unreasonable, and fuck you. Okay? No. So, the big villain was actually a dude named Woodrow. He was a captain of the military that was there with them. And they were all being absolute morons. Mostly centering around the ringmaster here.
To be fair, my intelligence wasn't that
Sparks
fucking
is
high.
never a moron. He was just an idiot.
Do you prefer the term stooge?
If it's the Three Stooges, then yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
So again, Ryuk, you were a big blue giant?
No,
I
he was an orc.
I was a orc.
A half-orc, because you were a descendant of Itka, so you were a dwarf orc.
Yeah.
You were an orc. I was Yuan-Ti, which is a big snake person.
We'll get to Yuan-Ti.
Kobold.
No, he was not. He was a dragonborn midget.
That's right. He was a
Who
dragon.
was raised by kobolds.
And Etchy was
That was the rabbit, Lorik.
Yeah.
Lorik.
And my orc wasn't as tall as
Oh, shut up, Tara!
as they usually are. What'd she say?
She said I am the one being unreasonable.
Oh.
You don't understand what it's like putting up with these lunatics.
So because I was half
I'm
orc,
sweating.
half
That's
dwarf,
how worked up I'm getting. I am physically
it's
sweating.
it's hot in here.
You're having PTSD flashbacks.
So my orc was like around the size of a little bit bigger than a normal guy. But he wasn't massive. So yeah, we're doing some stupid ass shit, and something happens to where the house starts collapsing.
No. Again, you are skipping over.
I
So,
don't remember what happened.
Captain Woodrow was there. So, basically, the idea was that magic is kind of a low setting at this point, and you have a bunch of people who have unusual abilities and powers and stuff like that. So, they were considered a threat. But rather than just offing them, the lord of the city decided to put them to use. He sent them with Captain Woodrow to go investigate this manor.
Oh yeah, the manor.
Now, they are all... I don't even remember what stupidity you were doing, but it was frustrating to Woodrow to the point that he started to twitch. He had an eye twitch.
Yeah, that's right.
And this guy... No. And I'm not falling for this shit. I'm not giving this... Oh, no, it was an innocent accident. No. I guarantee you knew exactly what you were fucking doing. Because he randomly walks up and uses the paladin power lay on hands. suddenly making it revealed that Captain Woodrow is an undead monstrous creature.
No, I actually didn't know what I was doing because that was the first time playing Paladin. So I'm like, ooh, lay on hands, I can heal. I just didn't realize it was divine healing.
Yes, because you need to be healed when you have a frustration tick.
I was an idiot.
What do you mean, was?
Oh, that's
I
right.
remember
You
that
accidentally
better.
revealed
After y'all
that
get
he
done
was
talking
undead.
about that, I want to
Yeah,
talk
so
about
I go up to him, lay on hands. Because I think we had just had a fight.
Yes,
Yeah.
there were goblins inside.
Yeah, so I'm like, I'm gonna go around just to heal everybody.
And you just casually ruined your big surprise reveal. And just
Woodrow
destroyed your plans.
Woodrow was infected by like the last strain of Kava's infection from your game, and it was supposed to be a big end reveal thing for the end of the mission level.
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
And you like fast forwarded probably 70% of the entire fucking campaign. So I had to completely improvise it because now you didn't have Woodrow to tell you to go places in the manor to find things and walk into death traps and shit because he was trying to get rid of you quietly.
Well, so then he tried to
But
kill...
it gets better. It gets better. Because to keep them inside the building, there was this enemy army, a tribe led by a two-headed giant called Gook and Mook. Now, I mentioned in the last show, this is one of my favorite little miniatures. This is not the original that I had, but that character, the Spirit Speaker, I think is what it's called officially. That was the first rare miniature that I got out of those random D&D packs. I literally had been waiting over 10 years. I want to stress this. Over 10 years to use this miniature in some kind of D&D game. It is still, even though that, again, that's not the original one I had. I lost that and I had to get it replaced because this one is much more recently made.
Sorry.
It's okay. But this one is very special to me. This was Gook and Mook.
Gook and Mook were tired of shit.
They were cool. I loved how, so they try to leave the manor and they're confronted by this enemy army. And they see,
No, we didn't leave the manor. The manor
You tore it down.
was being torn down around us, and we jumped out of the window.
Yeah, Gook and Mook started tearing the manor down, trying to find us. We
Yeah,
had to
because
actually run outside.
I had to improvise and do something because now there's no threat in the manor anymore because Woodrow has been temporarily taken out of the picture.
So,
But here's the thing. Gook and Mook, two-headed giant. This man, I guess the two brain cells in his head bumped together, and he had an actually kind of funny idea. He runs up to the two-headed giant and asks, "Which of you is in charge?"
yep.
And here's the thing. I completely neutered him with this. Each head looks at the other, and they both say simultaneously, "He is." You looked like you were about to cry. You were like, "No, you're supposed to argue and hate each other."
Because that's how it's, two-headed
Giants.
giants are. One head controls one side of the body, the other head controls the other side, and they're always fighting for dominance.
Not these
not
two.
this motherfucker.
These
this
two
motherfucker
became-
get along perfectly fine.
Yeah, they were They saw themselves as brothers.
So I popped up out of the
Yeah,
rubble.
you thought you were going to turn them against each other, and I
Yeah,
just completely swatted you
It
down.
did not work. I almost died.
Yeah.
Freaking talking.
Oh, no, you weren't the one who almost died.
No.
Inada.
Inada tried to. I forgot what she did.
You
but-
tried to
I got
backstab
tossed
him.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
tried to backstab him. He saw you coming, and he literally screamed. Because, I'll be fair, I did not expect Inada T to try and backstab the two-headed giant.
Yeah, I was
same.
sneaking up behind him. I'm a snake, and I have a dagger. And as he's distracted by you,
Yeah.
I was gonna like crawl up real fast and stab him in the back.
Unfortunately, it didn't really do
It
anything.
didn't work, and you went flying into the fucking.
Wasn't it Sparks that actually ended that fight?
I'll get
No.
to that in a second.
Yeah,
Yes, it was. Hold on.
Sparks did.
So all I can know is that everything about this mission has completely been derailed and nothing is going as I had notes. I literally had notes and I'll explain in a minute. I had notes. I had plans. None of them happened because of this guy deciding that you need to lay on hands because someone's eye twitches.
No, so.
But anyway,
So
so
I
I'm
start talking
hold
with-
on. So Gook and Mook realize Inada has just tried to stab them in the back. I don't know what to do. And I don't know where this came from, but I just shouted, 4! And had him use his big conking club as a golf club, and it knocked you to like 1 or 2 hit points and threw you back into the destroyed building.
No, we were on top of the rubble.
Yeah, no, he got thrown into it.
Yeah, it was like...
And by the way, this is Inada.
eh.
Yeah, show him Inada.
This is my character model, Inada, that I played as. She was the auntie, about a 12-foot-long snake person.
Mm-hmm. Raised by a beholder.
She mostly
Slightly
used a
racist.
spear, but also had a dagger. Raised by a beholder, she was found. She was one of the last of her species.
Yep.
And wanted to resurrect the great Yanti Empire.
But anyway,
racist.
slightly racist. Anyway, though, but so everyone is getting their butts kicked by Gook and Mook, and there's a part of me that is. It was a very strange evening because I was furious at you, and at the same time there was something cathartic about a 10-year plus wait and finally getting this guy to just absolutely go gorilla, if you know what I mean, and I think you do, on all these obnoxious people who drive me crazy.
I got hit a couple times,
Mm-hmm.
and then I landed to the point where he was in front of me, and Sparks was underneath.
Now, real quick, Sparks was his Dragonborn midget, who was an artificer.
Artificer, yep.
And he had essentially a magic sniper rifle.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I'm using a loose terminology, but anyway.
Fifth edition had a
Guns.
hunting rifle that, to this day, I still think is ungodly, grossly overpowered. Because
it doesn't belong in the game.
2d10.
Yeah, it doesn't belong in the game.
2d10 damage.
So I'm trying to talk our way out of this somehow, and failing epically. Sparks shoots his gun and gets the dude in the nads.
So Sparks is only about 2 feet tall.
Yep, 2.5, I think, something like that ballpark.
And so he's crawling through the rubble trying not to be noticed because, gigantic giant, biggest thing he's ever seen.
Yep.
And manages to get underneath.
I still love
Gogan
this
Mook's
model.
legs. And
Just shoots up.
besides, while the whole entire thing is happening, he was just going to point straight up with his rifle, and I rolled a nat 20 for my attack.
Mm-hmm.
Got him right in the testicle. The
Kaboom.
left one, if I remember correctly.
Yep, and
Yeah, no, he wasn't satisfied with just saying that, yeah, you hit him in the groin. No. This dude wants specific details because he got a net 20. Which testicle did I shoot off? And I don't know what I thought. I don't know where this came from. I just said the left one. Because, again, remember, this is one of my prized models. I love this little guy. This is still one of my favorite miniatures.
so that kind
And you just... And that's the scary thing, is the damage on that crit pretty much took him out. In terms of health.
Yeah, it ended the fight. He was still alive. So we came to an understanding and a small treaty. They found out that Etten could, speak about 3 octaves higher. Yeah.
Out of both heads.
So they leave, and we go back to the city. Well, then, a few sessions later, a army shows up on the docks.
Good night, Tina.
Oh, good night, Mom. Love
Good
you.
night.
It is the normal time that we would end the show, but since we started it a half hour late, we'll go up till 9. Yeah, this is going to be I'm just going to call it here. We're most likely going to be a 3-parter.
So we, for some reason,
Spoiler warnings.
I don't know why, but I get put in charge. I have no fucking clue how that happened, but it happened. We end up at the docks.
My blood pressure, by the way, is just climbing with every game session because these idiots put him in charge.
Yeah, I have no... It went okay for a bit, but...
Like a count of 5.
Yeah. So we start talking with, try to do parlay.
Which is funny because everyone thought you were batshit crazy because you claimed there was an alien.
Yeah. So we do parlay, and the Frost Giants wanted to start a fight because we had killed Gook and Mook when we did it.
They thought you killed Gook and Mook, and so they were there.
Specifically after me.
By the way, it never dawned on anyone in the
party. We may not have killed him. We definitely killed his bloodline, though.
Yeah, we did.
It never dawned on any of them how that meant that somebody was manipulating things because somebody had to relay this information to the Frost Giants that Gook and Mook were killed, even though he wasn't. Well, they weren't actually.
Yeah.
Never brought it up. Never even said anything about that. No, just go fight the Frost Giants.
Yeah. So we have a bit of a fight, and then we settle things down, and they leave. That's when we find out that their ships are fucking fireproof. And the plan that we had come up with did not work at all. So we had to go to plan B, and that was try to talk our way out of it, and somehow it worked. And then afterwards, we had to go to the city underwater.
Brine Deep.
Brine Deep, yeah.
Yep.
This was another one that infuriated me because of the fact that I had to hear from the party, except for the bishop. The bishop was literally the only person who didn't make me want to pull my hair out in this entire campaign. I'm being completely honest with you.
Did the bishop also did not want to go into the STD?
Oh yeah, so.
What was it me?
Like you let me be a artificer, knowing exactly what I would do to that player, to that character.
Well, see, that's the thing is, you weren't even there for that session. Because...
No, that was...
yeah.
That was the beginning of a lot of really bad stuff in my life.
Yeah. Gonna try and glance over that. No, so there was a city underwater called Brine Deep, and they had to use this basically submarine. But because I was trying to connect with these raving lunatics, decided to joke that it was called the... subaquatic transportation device, an STD. And he never ever let that joke die.
That's great.
But
my character was afraid of drowning, so he didn't want to go in there. They somehow got me in there, but I want to get out.
Etchy was a bard at the time, and I believe he used a charm spell.
Yeah, he got me in there, and then
because you more than you normally did, you hated him for that.
Yeah.
But by the way, again, I want to point out. So it was him, Etchy, and the bishop, and the bishop was the only one not giving me the business about how I was railroading the party and I was forcing the campaign. Etchy just let it be known every 5 minutes that he didn't want to go to Brine Deep. He never agreed to this. He was put on the STD. Which is funny considering that he literally brainwashed you into getting it. But anyway, oh god.
I forgot what happened, but the two of them get into Brine Deep. I'm stuck in the sub.
Because you wouldn't get out.
Yeah. But it got to the point where
because I quote, water bad.
Yeah, water bad. Something happened to where I got launched into Brine Deep.
Yep.
Like a fucking torpedo?
Yes, because it had a torpedo launching silo and you tried to hide in there.
Yeah, I did. And then the Scraps freaking just launched torpedoes and I went fucking... I think it almost killed me too.
Yes, you needed to be healed.
The amount of times that Sparks almost killed you in that campaign was actually pretty astounding.
Yeah, and yet me and Sparks were freaking best friends. It got to the point where I would pick him up sometimes and I would look at him dead from above and fucking yeeting him up into the air and he would just start blasting.
Yep, I remember that tactic.
So that's because the DM in his absolute infinite wisdom let Sparks build a grenade launcher onto his rifle.
Boom tube, I believe we called them.
Yeah. Sparks called it his boom tube.
But anyway, yeah, that campaign was an absolute mess. People dropped in and dropped out, and this one
I had a friend in the freaking that worked at the cemetery.
The Hearst Guild.
Me and him were tight. I slept in the coffin for a good fucking minute.
You died at one point and literally got chewed out by one of the gods of death.
Yeah.
Twice.
Yeah, no,
Yeah, twice,
he died.
and
He died a couple times.
I died.
You also got chewed out by Sparks' girlfriend at least once.
Oh,
The Minotaur.
Yeah, she kicked my ass a couple times.
Yep.
Big titty Minotaur girlfriend.
Yup. And then.
Do you see what I had to put up with, people? Are you starting to realize that I was not the problem with this?
And then at one point,
It's your fault for describing her the way you did.
and my character followed in his dad's footsteps and spent a lot of time in the brothel.
So did Sparks.
Yep. And then at one point, I lost my legs.
That was
No, that was much later.
Oh,
that
yeah,
was the Goliath.
Yeah.
Who lost your legs, and you made a deal with a great old one from the far realm to be healed.
Yeah, and then one leg was a tongue, and the other one was
Covered in screaming mouths.
Yeah, the tongue was just weird because I could taste the floor.
Yeah.
Ryuk had a fallen out with Anubis.
Yep.
Because he did some stupid ass shit.
Mm-hmm.
And then he ended up finding a different god, death gods to follow.
Yeah.
And then
The Lords of Shabalba.
I think I went insane and got killed, didn't I?
Okay, so here's what happened with that.
I don't remember what happened to Ryuk.
I will explain.
My memory's terrible.
I remember this. It happened in a bathhouse.
Oh.
It started in a bathhouse. So he finally, after like 5 or 6 sessions, after first realizing that there are hostile meat-eating aliens secretly flooding into the city, plotting an overthrow, he finally decides he's going to try and investigate it. Everyone thinks he's batshit crazy because I think the only person that saw the alien too was Inada.
I blew up their general and like gave him half a face, and he hated me.
And then
No, hold on. So this guy finally decides to try and investigate this again, like 5 or 6 sessions later. I guess they finally. Yeah, they had a suit. They did a bunch of other things.
I think it was only me and you because Scraps and Laura
were somewhere else
or something. I don't know.
Because they didn't know about the aliens and they didn't believe him.
Sparks was, if I remember correctly, at the time Sparks was busy trying to build defenses for the city.
Yeah.
The big boom tubes.
Yeah, the big boom tubes. And
That's
Lorik didn't believe you. He thought you were just batshit crazy.
Oh,
Inada, I think, saw them, or did you just believe him?
I think I just believed him at this point.
Okay,
Yeah.
But he goes into an abandoned building.
And I was
That
there.
is-
I went with you.
Yeah, but no, here's the thing. He kicks the door in. Don't know why, but he does. This building, this abandoned building, was being used as a communal bathhouse for the aliens.
Well, the thing was,
You-
his intelligence wasn't all that high.
Just like his player. Anyway, you kick the door in. They're all in their bathing suit. They're all in their birthday suits, bathing and washing. They look at you. They are not hostile at this point. They are confused.
Oh, why I'm there?
He instantaneously kills one of the creatures.
With a firebolt.
No, it was a divine beam of light. That,
Yeah,
It was a moonbeam.
You blew it up.
yeah, you blew the poor thing up. And so he kills one and then
then
promptly turns around and just starts walking very quickly away.
And then I proceed to run.
And then they charge out of the building after him.
And I like sneak in because they haven't seen me yet.
Yeah.
And I rig, and there's like
You
gas canisters in there. I'm blowing it up.
Yeah, you wanted to blow it up. You actually ended up injuring their commander.
Yeah, because he actually confronted me, and I'm like,
Yeah.
bye. And
After he kicked my ass a little bit.
Oh no, that's later.
And then I just shot the gas and blew the whole
Yeah,
place up.
and you thought that you had maybe killed him.
You said he went flying with
Yeah.
a trail of smoke.
Yeah, he got
splattered.
Yeah,
Or he landed. He
yeah,
didn't
she
splatter.
got blown away.
Was the commander a she?
Yeah.
Yes, it was a
Oh,
she.
okay.
That became important later because Lorik tried to seduce her. It didn't work out very well. Anyway, though, so he is running through the city streets being chased by a horde of these naked chimera monsters. If anyone is familiar with the internet lore, they were called Surgles, which is, for the uninitiated, I'll explain, a humanoid creature that is essentially a mix of a wolf, a shark, and a raptor. And roughly as intelligent as these three creatures and twice as bloodthirsty.
Yup.
And he pissed them off.
Well, no one believed me, so I
Because
decided...
well, now, hold on. I want to point out, from their perspective, you literally just walked into their bathroom, killed Kenny, and then walked away.
I forgot he had a fucking name and everything.
He did. No, I literally had them go, oh my god, he killed Kenny. Let's get him.
And then I'm pretty
But
sure...
of course, they were all talking in alien, so I had to do the reference to Mars Attacks. They were talking in the language of...
Yeah, so at that point, my idea was like, well, if the guards see them, there will be more people that fucking believe me.
Now, hold on, though, because that's not who you ran to. Now,
No,
is it?
I ran to the worst fucking person
Your favorite character.
No, I hate that motherfucker.
Allow me to introduce a character to you all. This is my favorite character from the game. They called him the Tall Man, because no one could ever remember his name. This character was actually supposed to...
I never learned his name in the first place.
Well, that was the joke. He would never actually say his name because you would forget as soon as he said it. So everyone just called him the Tall Man because he was really tall and skinny. But here's the fun side note. People who are fans of my channel and my mythos and the Lobalist channel that we have where I play Fortnite, this is actually the origin of that voice that I use in that show and for the character Lobalist. It became known as the Tall Man voice. And every time I used it, his blood pressure would spike through the roof.
I lost a finger.
He cut off, yeah, you flipped him off, so he cut your middle finger
I got
off.
my ass beat by him
He put
several
you-
fucking times.
He put you through a wall.
I got backhanded through a door.
Mm-hmm. Now, to be fair, you slammed a door in his face. Because here's the thing that's funny, because everyone, again, always defends him. I was mean
I'm
to him.
lovable and adorable.
No. Here's the thing that you never seem to get through your skull. The Tall Man couldn't hurt you unless you did something to him first.
Yeah, well,
He couldn't do anything unless he was provoked. And you just kept...
provoking him?
Yes!
Yeah, I don't know how that happened. Like, half the time I'm like, I'm trying not to do anything, but shit happens to where, like, I have to respond.
And then you choose... But no, here's the thing. He had... Because the whole idea was that he was a manipulator. He was conspiring and plotting and scheming, and he had this magic shop that he had set up in the city as kind of a front for himself. So, I want you, dear students in the class, in the chat, you are being chased by a murderous horde of rabid, flesh-eating, alien shark wolf raptors. You could run anywhere in the city for help. Do you run to the city guard? Do you run to your friends in the party? Do you run to the lord of the city who personally sees you as a protector and has given you status? Or do you run to the magic shop run by the clearly evil, villainous creature who has stated many times that he doesn't like you or your ugly face or dull personality?
My personality was great.
Where do you run, boys and girls? No, you're wrong. Of course, you obviously go to the magic shop owned by the clearly evil creature that doesn't like you.
I'm pretty sure I did a wisdom roll and I did not roll that high.
Is that why you went there?
Yeah.
Because I'm
I
going to
was
be
trying to
honest.
figure out where to go, and then you said roll for it. And I rolled low.
I want to point out that I said that only because I needed to keep the game going, and I didn't want to penalize him. So I was like, roll a dice, do something to
So
decide
I rolled,
where to go.
and I rolled low, and I made the worst decision possible.
Mm-hmm.
Which was go there.
Which is funny because then, finally, here comes Inada. Inada, who had just recently gotten hands of dozens of potions and stuff, and we'll explain why next week because we are getting close to time. And I don't know why you did this. You gave him a potion of invisibility. That makes sense.
That's...
You
you gave me a potion of giant hill.
Giant size.
Yeah.
'Cause
this
you-
is after you murdered that dwarf.
We'll explain that next week. Spoilers.
That
You hid inside the building. At that exact moment, he was not there. He was somewhere else, pulling strings and being manipulative. So you were in there alone. You decided to hide in the back room where he kept all his storage.
I went behind the counter, and then he fucking felt me there, came back, looked at me, saw the fucking aliens, and then went to go talk to them. And then that's when I decided to go into the back room, which was a terrible idea, drink the invisibility potion, hide under a table, saw the gloves that I was looking for.
So real quick for context, the tall man was actually my original character from our first D&D game, Mognir. But he had basically become a demigod at the cost of he never existed technically. Everyone forgot he had ever existed, which for a criminal narcissist is a fate worse than death. He had been conspiring and trying to basically undo the deal that he had gotten put into. And during the eternity that he had to think about this, he was collecting artifacts from his life. Artifacts that were scattered around this storage space that he was now hiding in.
Yeah, because I knew one of the potions was an invisibility potion. I forgot what the other one was, so I drank both of them.
Now, did you not remember?
No, I gave it to you for a specific reason, so, like in hopes that you could become big and beat the Circles or stomp the tall man or something.
Well, for some reason, I don't remember which one was which, and I drank both. And then I completed to proceed to accidentally destroy everything in the warehouse.
Mm-hmm.
And then realize I fucked up.
Royally.
And decided to run. Did not work.
No. Because he immediately found you.
Maybe it was because I grabbed a bunch of potions and you had me roll.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you gave me a bag with the potions in it, and then I just started drinking.
See, I'm just remembering, did you guys legitimately not remember that it was a potion of giant strength, or were you being in character?
We did not remember.
I thought we were in... I don't remember exactly, but
yeah. Like, I remember us not remembering, and then... Yeah.
You destroyed the artifacts that he had spent 1,000 years or something like that trying to gather together again.
And then I was
I think we lost...
a...
Nope, Kobold's still here. Okay, good. Are you still there, buddy?
Yeah, I'm still here. I'm just listening.
Okay.
And then I was given an ultimatum.
That's right. You had to be his bitch, his servant.
Yep.
And you screwed that up too because you immediately go and try to snitch on him.
Yep. And then we end up in the sewers at some point where there was a sphinx.
That's right.
And
your first job was you had to take this cursed sword and give it to one of the villains because it belonged to his grandfather and it would be like 10 times more powerful in his possession.
Yeah. But something happened to where me and that dude got in a fight.
Yes, initially you got in a fight, but he did like you.
Yeah.
Because you gave him his grandfather's sword.
Yeah. And I killed him?
No, that was a different character.
Okay.
Enadok killed him way later in the campaign.
Yep, that's right. And it just made everything
And it's funny
worse.
because none of you thought to point out to him that you were also Ryuk's friend.
Yeah.
That probably would have changed a lot.
Yeah, it would have. Well, I ended up in an asylum.
So, no, I'll tell. So, he is now working for the tall man. And what does he decide to do? He goes and tries to snitch on the tall man to the lord of the city, who thinks that he has completely gone off the deep end and snapped under the pressure of being a hero.
Yeah.
And so, here's the sad part. He was trying to help you. He was like, okay, clearly something is wrong. You need to go to the hospital. You need to go to a ward. You need to be kept safe.
I didn't want it to go. And mind you, when he's talking to me about this, the rest of the party decided that I was also having problems. And they thought that I was not allowed to be left alone.
Yeah,
I needed supervision, so they tied me into the fucking bed. They took the mattress, rolled me in it, tied it to where I couldn't do anything, go anywhere, and I was stuck there. And I also still smelled like I just got out of the sewers.
Mm-hmm.
Because Sparks decided to upgrade everything in my unit.
He put wheels on everything.
Oh, he did a bunch of other stuff too. I just don't remember what.
I remember you had wheels on your armor.
I had wheels on my armor. I had something on the toilet, something in the mirror, something in the shower, some stuff in the kitchen.
Scraps had a really bad habit of wanting to make everything better. I think that was his catchphrase.
Yeah, then, I made it better.
And then the funny part is they had to use someone else's mattress to tie me up because I had a bear sleeping in my unit.
That's right. You did have a bear.
Yeah, you guys befriended a bear.
Yeah, but he was an actual,
a literal bear.
No, he was a person that got turned into a bear.
He was a farmer.
He was a farmer who pissed off Iorn.
And then he got turned into a bear. But by that point, I was no longer sleeping on the bed. I already had the coffin in the unit, and I was sleeping in the coffin. And I still had my altar to Anubis and my new altar to the new gods I was following. So when the king came to visit, coffin, bear, altars.
It was not.
It wasn't very flattering. Then he sees his champion, the leader of the champions, wrapped up in a fucking bed with his mohawk all fucked up. Stinking.
Covered in crap and blood.
Talking about some tall dude that has a warehouse with a bunch of magical stuff.
And aliens.
I end up in an asylum
and we're going to have to leave that on a to be continued.
Because this is a big
This was a big one. This was probably the biggest thing I did in a game. But we are, unfortunately, at time, and we all have to work in the morning. So, unfortunately, we are going to have to call this quits tonight.
You good?
We'll be back next week with part 3 of the Adventures of D&D, celebrating Gary Gygax's Day.
And then are we going to finally get to...
And we will get to
Inadati,
the General, Admiral, Scholar...
Admiral General Dr. Inadati the Great.
Mm-hmm. Great headache is more like it. Anyway, though.
Before we talk about what happened in the sauna, we're going to be talking about what she was doing.
Yeah, you kind of need to know.
We need to see all the parts to appreciate the asylum incident.
Yeah.
Does that include the hallucinogenic grenades that Sparks made?
Oh, I forgot about those.
You only used those like once or twice.
That was not in the hospital, but yes.
That was before. Was that before the hospital?
I want to say that was after, but I don't remember exactly.
Either way, point is, boys and girls, come back next week because boy howdy.
You guys will be there, right, Scrubs? Jesus?
You'll be here, right, buddy?
I will do my best to be there. I don't know what my schedule is next week's, but I will let you know.
Okay. And you'll be here, of course, right? Yep. All right, then. Hopefully you're there, too. I have been your host, Kristoff N. Chester. We got the bishop over in the corner.
Hi.
Hi.
We got Famine and Gluttony, my wonderful doggos. Jesus, the best and worst D&D player I have ever met. We have DJ Scraps here on the phone. By the way, you can go check out DJ Scraps over at Kobold's Corner. We'll see you all next week. And as always, keep checking the chat. What are you doing? Ow!
Bear missile.
Oh, bear missile.
We'll get to the bear missile.
Are you Choopy? What the? You didn't get him last week.
Keep checking the shadows.